My 11-year-old last year got her HPV vaccine, the human papilloma virus, which causes cervical cancer and 5 other cancers, including cancer of, I think, the vulva, vaginal, penile cancer, and they're all caused by this human papilloma virus, HPV.
What?
That is the only cancer right now that we have not a cure, but
Prevention.
vaccine for.
You never truly know people until you take the time out to get to know people. You know, I'm seeing you in your full purpose. It's one thing for you in the beginning episode saying how you are trying to get and find your purpose and be in your purpose. But your purpose, from my observation and just from this interaction today, is you have sacrificed your life so that you can better, for the betterment of children who don't have what it is that you may have had, and just ensuring that they have a chance by breaking the barriers of access to proper medication and healthcare. Not easy. Was this hard on your, is in 2018, when now you became the board member, what did this mean? You were jobless?
Yes.
And this became the job?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I did not have a job. There were certain family assets that I was managing, and it was able to, give me something. When I jumped into Hope for Cancer Kids, December 2016 as the board chair, I just come back from the US, from the Mandela Washington Fellowship. I did not have a job. So I started doing it pro bono on a voluntary basis. There was only one staff who was a volunteer. So I ended up doing a lot, getting my hands stuck in, pulling up my sleeves and, just starting to get the work done and growing the organization from supporting 16 kids per month to over 450 per month. And that involved, when it's a small organization, you do everything. You're the accountant, you're the fundraiser, you're the executive director, you're the event organizer, you're the errand boy, you're the one who goes to pitch to corporates, you're the one who talks to your friends to crowdfund. And it was a lot of work. I was in a space where I was kind of looking for ways to, support my family. As I said, there were some family, assets that I was helping my parents manage. So I managed to get something from there. And that took me through a very long time. I only started receiving, I stepped down from the board, was it 2 years ago? To become the first executive director. This was 3 years ago. And that was the first time I ever got even a shilling from Hope for Cancer Kids. After almost 6 years of doing it pro bono. And it's not a salary that you think out there, NGO salaries, or, it's not much. It's not enough to, even support my family. So I still have to find other ways of, doing that. But the satisfaction that it gave me and my conviction to grow this organization, my plan is to grow it to the point where we are able to pay global standard NGO salaries. But you can't be at a point where you're spending 50% on overheads.
It's true.
And only 50% of your donations are going, it's a tricky industry because you have to have your impact and you have to be spending most of the money
on the impact
that you're raising on the beneficiaries. So right now we are a very small, lean staff. But you realize that we're also passionate about it, that even though a lot of the time we have to look for other places to fill that financial gap, we are so passionate about Hope for Cancer Kids, and we are not in a position where we want to leave the organization hanging. So there are times when people have even been offered, better jobs elsewhere. And they're like, yeah, pay is good and all that, but my passion is here. This is what I'm meant to be doing.
Wow.
I remember we had our programs support lead, and she said, before I met Hope, I joined Hope for Cancer Kids, my life had no purpose. Now I feel like I actually have a purpose. You can have someone with the best degrees, pay them the best salary, but if the passion is not there, the cracks will start to come out. If the dedication and the passion towards childhood cancer, towards making lasting social impact, towards helping somebody else is not there, then that's not the right fit for us. So we're also very careful about who we onboard as Hope for Cancer Kids.
So, real talk, does this strain the marriage?
Yes, it does. There are times when, money is very low, and my wife is corporate, 100% corporate. She's been corporate all her life. And she supports me a lot. A lot of the times I'll be like, I don't have money for school fees, and you pay this time.
Wow.
And she'll do it. Most of my, the last maybe 10 years, she probably earns way more than me. But I find ways to provide for what I need to provide for.
Yeah.
Whether it's school fees or paying the bills or utilities or, random things like a holiday here, an anniversary trip there.
Yeah.
So I find ways to do it, but it does put a lot of strain on the marriage, especially because my income is not guaranteed, if I can put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah, as much as I'm getting a stipend from Hope for Cancer Kids,
Just
it's nowhere near what I need to support my family. So sometimes things are very low. Sometimes I get some money, I get a lump sum, and I do this and do that. But it's definitely puts a lot of strain on the marriage. But she understands my purpose as well. A lot of the time, even when we get frustrated, we're like, should I now start looking for a full-time job or start doing this or start doing that? We've had these conversations over and over and over again. Sometimes they're very strenuous. Sometimes I actually get on it and start looking. Sometimes I'm like, I need to do this first. So it's a tricky one there.
Hey, dude. Yeah,
I'm just being real.
No, I love it. I love it. I understand it. And it shows me the level of all in you are in this purpose thing. When we started this story, Bana, you were the guy who was talking about a Kawasaki.
I'm telling you. If I had that money now.
But I know if you had that money now, Hope for Cancer Kids would have 10,000 people.
I'm telling you.
You're so driven with this purpose thing that it's your all, and I love it, and I love that not too many people in life get to find this thing. Granted, it took you a lot of pain and a crazy journey for you to find this, but it's powerful. So you have been doing this all in from that time. Granted, these are the things you're doing on the side, but these are the things that are your side hustle.
Yes.
This is the main thing.
Yes. This is where I give most of my time.
What's it been like to know this child came here? This child had no hope. This child was stuck in shags. This parent had no idea how to get from here to here. And now knowing the little or the lot that you've done is the reason this child has had the same words that you heard from your doctor. I can't see the cancer.
I can't even describe the feeling. There's a level of satisfaction that it gives you. Obviously, it's not money. But I can't explain to you how satisfying it is to know that you have helped change someone's life, help change someone's journey. You have given them a hand up when they had nowhere else to go. And I see some of these kids now. We were doing a study a couple of months ago, and we were just calling our previous beneficiaries to find out where they, what are they doing. Some of them are working now. Some of them are in high school, some of them are in university.
Wow, these are the kids.
Just to see that full circle. Like, and when the parents get in touch with us and they're like, you don't know what you did for us. Like, literally, I was about to give up. If you guys had said you can't help, I was going to take my son home to die in the village. Just hide him in the village, let him die in peace at home. And you don't really understand the gravity of what you're doing until a mother calls you crying. You guys don't know what you've done for me. Like without, and I can't describe the feeling it gives us because it's indescribable. But that satisfaction, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Just knowing that I have made a significant difference in someone's life, no matter the outcome. There are people who call us and say yes, my daughter or my son passed away, but we are so grateful to the assistance you gave us, because without you guys, the journey would have been very different.
Wow.
We recently lost one of our, that was a tough one, one of our beneficiaries. And, you know, obviously they were in the hospital was not releasing the body because the bill hadn't been paid. And we were very instrumental in coming in and negotiating with the hospital and talking to them and raising funds, not only to get the child released from the hospital, but we ended up raising funds to actually transport the child back home and bury him.
Aye, this is a lot.
So, you know, it's a full circle thing. No matter where the journey ends, we are starting to see improved survival for the children that we support. We are still in the process of trying to go through that data, but our survival rate as Hope for Cancer Kids is way above 20 or 30%. And we're actually looking for partners to be able to do that research, put our data together, make sense of it, and figure out what the actual impact in terms of outcomes is for children who are supported by Hope for Cancer Kids.
Wow. Has there been a growth in people when they think of cancer now, including children? Are there other organizations?
In Kenya, there are organizations that support children with cancer, but most of them support either a certain type of cancer. For example, you'll find whether it's breast cancer or eye cancer or liver cancer or stomach cancer. You've heard about all these cervical cancer groups, breast cancer groups. But we are the only organization that specifically supports only children with cancer. There's no other organization in Kenya that does it. There are other organizations that we partner with that help us here and there, but our mandate is childhood cancer. No other organization in Kenya can say that. So we are the only ones who specifically focus on childhood cancer.
Wow. You know, I feel like this city is coming to an abrupt end, but at a point of ... You get? I feel like I need to meet you 10. In fact, my thing is I meet people 10 years later on CTA and be like, we left off here. Live life 10 years later. What's the continued growth, the continued journey? But before that, in this story, we can't talk about kids and not talk about your kids. That was a major part that you missed out.
Yes.
And what point did you become a father?
Wow. I got my first daughter in 2014. She's now 11. I got my second daughter in 2019.
Wow.
She's now 6. In hindsight, now that I think about it, one of the proposed side effects, I don't know if I think it was of the chemo, I'm not sure what it was for, was that I might have problems with the fertility going down the line.
Oh.
And I might not be able to have children. At that point, I didn't care about children. I just wanted to beat the cancer and get... So it's not nothing I ever even thought of. It's only later on when I started meeting people who have gone through cancer that have challenges, having children. And I got my 2 girls, and, that was just a blessing. Like, I can say, that God was just, God was in it all. And you don't realize how blessed you are until you hear someone else's story. Because it's not something I thought about.
Dude, I thank God for saliva because of you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a joke, but it's funny, not funny.
Exactly. So I have 2 wonderful girls, and they're my world. Everything I do now, I do for them. They know about Hope for Cancer Kids. They know why I do it. They know what I do. They keep saying, can we come visit the kids in the hospital? Obviously, because of age restrictions, they can't go into the wards.
Yeah.
But they've been to visit the home. Even before we started hosting, we want to see where the new home is. So they know what I do.
Wow.
They know why I do it. And I've tried to talk to them about cancer and this and that. Because at the end of the day, the best I can do for them is to empower them. My 11-year-old last year got her HPV vaccine, the human papilloma virus, which causes cervical cancer and 5 other cancers, including cancer of, I think, the vulva, vaginal, penile cancer, and they're all caused by this human papilloma virus, HPV.
What?
That is the only cancer right now that we have not a cure, but
Prevention.
vaccine for. Cervical cancer is also one of the saddest cancers because from the time it starts manifesting, it takes about 10 years for it to be full cervical cancer. And what that does is, by the time the symptoms are becoming noticeable, you're too far down the line. Human papilloma virus is a sexually transmitted virus. So what the WHO and the Kenyan government as well are trying to do is ensure that you get them before they are sexually active. And you get that vaccination, and it stops you from getting cervical cancer. Cervical cancer is one of the highest killers worldwide and in Kenya.
What?
But no one knows about the vaccine. So last year I took my daughter, my 11-year-old, to get her HPV vaccine because I would not want her to suffer through cervical cancer because I've seen what it does to people.
And can you just walk into an institution and get this vaccine? Once the
Yes,
child
you
is...
can. There are free doses for girls between 9 and 12, I think.
What?
That have been provided through the WHO consortium. But you can also walk into a private institution and pay for it.
Okay.
And also, they are looking at girls at that age before they are sexually active. You can also vaccinate boys because it's sexually transmitted.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But that one you'd have to pay for. The ones that are being given now free are from girls, I think, age 9 to 13.
My God, I have a 10-year-old, but I've never heard about this.
It prevents 5 different cancers.
Oh, you guy, you're...
So those are my girls. They're my world. And as I said, everything, the moment you become a parent, even when you get married, you have a wife, and as a man, you have that responsibility to take care of her. But when you have a child, this whole human being is 100% dependent and reliant on you. You stop living for yourself, you stop living for your spouse, and your child becomes your first priority. Everything I'm doing now, I'm doing for my girls. That's my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
As we come to a close on this, I want to do two things. First and foremost, I want to ask, as we've been speaking, the giving details, the donate details have been on the screen. I've put them on the previous episode, I've put them on this episode. But to you who's watching, again, there's various ways of giving. The first and the easiest, because of the financial, what do you call these things, infrastructure that's there, is definitely through what's on the screen. Have it be, you be local or international. All the details are on the screen. Go to the website, the contacts are on the screen. Get in touch directly with Sidney Chahonyo, the director for Hope for Cancer for Kids. But then also check out the website, that's also there. But number two, and for me this one sometimes, it's even better than money. It's give of the resource that you've been gifted with.
Yes.
You get? So for example, I have been blessed with CTA, and putting you on CTA, and please note, I've not charged him to be on CTA. In fact, it's us going out of pocket to do this. Yeah. But we do this so that this narrative can reach more and more people. You get? And more people can get to hear about what it is that you're doing. Somebody can be a doctor. Somebody can be a writer in a newspaper. Somebody can be a blogger. Somebody can be, all sorts of things. There's so many diverse things. You can have a school. By the way, even introducing the vaccine for girls in your school is you furthering your agenda.
Yes.
There's so many different places. You may have your companies, you may be CEOs, you may be a company looking for which CSR do we jump into this year. Here's one. You may be somebody who works in SHA, has an ear to the president. All of this at different places. You can be an MP. Lobbying is a huge thing that is necessary. In fact, given the opportunity, let's try this. Given the opportunity to lobby for something so that there could be change, what's the first thing that you would go for? I know it's a difficult, but let's just try it.
That's a very difficult question. SHA has had its challenges. They have started to address those challenges. If I had the ear, I would ask, there was a paper that was done through the National Cancer Control Program, and they invited different stakeholders to come up with a differentiated package for childhood cancer. The document is there. It was written. It has all the recommendations that were made from people across the board. And it got to Parliament, but it was never tabled. And all I would ask for is a sit down with the powers that be. Because at the end of the day, this is not a statistic. This is a person's life. If people are not able to access treatment, diagnostics, medication, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, then there's no point of anything. And so what I would ask for is to ensure that children get uninterrupted treatment. Uninterrupted treatment. Sometimes you hear someone is told, the same person who doesn't have 500 shillings to come to Nairobi is being told you have to pay 1 year in advance before you can be subbed. So let's say your premium is 1,000 shillings. So you're asking this person who doesn't have 500 for NHIF to pay you 6,000 bob up front before they can start their treatment. And I understand the challenges in raising funds because a lot of people don't pay for NHIF until they need it. If everyone was paying diligently, not everyone can afford, but if everybody was paying diligently. I know a lot of people who have private insurance and they don't pay their NHIF because they'll never need it. They're paid for insurance by the office, maybe even the employer pays their NHIF or their SHA. They don't have to do it. Think about, for example, startups, small startups who don't have the funds yet to pay for medical and are not paying for NHIF or SHA or are paying the bare minimum. Think about consultants who don't pay. What that does is it reduces the pool of money available to treat the masses. So if more people could get on and pay their SHA premiums, once we are, over the hurdles of, transitioning from NHIF to SHA, I think it would go a long way. But for me, I can't even say there's one thing that I would ask for, but it's just uninterrupted treatment. These children need to be diagnosed early and have access to treatment.
Okay.
But lastly, we need to decentralize cancer treatment. You don't have to come all the way to Nairobi. We used to have 7 provinces in Kenya. If we had a level 6 hospital, fully funded, fully equipped, with the manpower to run a level 6 facility, those 7 hospitals would be able to reduce the burden on Kenyatta Hospital, Kenyatta National Hospital, and MTRH. You'd have specialized treatment. You're not traveling 400 kilometers to reach treatment, the next treatment center. You're traveling maybe 100 or 200, So if we could be able to centralize our treatment, and obviously counties are too many, but if you can have the 7 provinces, each of them have a fully funded, functional level 6 hospital, that will go a long way into improving the quality and quantity of care across the board.
It's just hit me. If somebody's in Malindi with a child, you're telling me they have to come to Kenyatta Hospital, Nairobi?
Yes. In the public space, yes.
In the public space?
Private is too expensive.
Yeah, that's out of even the question.
Yeah. So
if you don't have the transportation,
yes. Mombasa is also in the process of. They launched a cancer center a couple of years ago, but I'm not sure if they have started. I'm not sure if they have radiotherapy services yet. But they could have the machines, but nobody trained to. Or they could be a level 6, but not have a pediatric oncologist or even an oncologist. They're seeing GPs or pediatricians. So it's tricky.
Okay. Hey, okay. So you've had it. Sid has spoken his heart out for the last, it's 4:19. We've been talking for quite a while. But for me, this has been such an amazing conversation. I want to pray for you. Then I want you to look into this camera and do a parting shot. But for those of you who are listening, again, I'll say the paybill number, the details, the donate details, they're all on the screen. Your 1 shilling, your 50 cents, your 1 cent goes a long way. Don't look at it like it's useless. Please, 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 please. That I promise you. You have no idea. Haba na haba ujaza kibaba. Little by little, we make it to the top of the mountain. So let me pray for you, Sid. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for your son, for the sacrifice that he's made of his life. I thank you for saving him in the journey that he's taken to get to here. It's not been an easy journey. It's had its ups and downs, its ins and outs. But when I look at the totality of his life right now, I'm so proud of the man that he is, and because he lives his life so that others may have life. Not many people can say that they sacrifice their everyday to ensure that others can get a chance in life. And not just others, but those who are the least of the least in society. Those who lack, those who don't have, but those who are still human and who are still your children, God. There's a Bible verse that says, you were hungry. I was hungry and you didn't feed me. People have been sick, and Sid and his team have been there. And talking about his team, I pray for the rest of the team that are at Hope for Cancer Kids. I pray that you bless them as they live sacrificially. I pray that you bring all the resources that they need. I pray that you open up doors, windows, roofs, so that they can meet and have access to the people, the right people who are going to help catapult, elevate, exponentially increase that which it is that they are doing, so that they can reach more people. But I also pray that this walk, this journey, won't have its negative consequences on their lives. That Sid will still be a father to his daughters. He'll still be a husband to his wife. He'll still be a friend to his friends. But that even as he does this, that he would be increased, that he would not lack as the head of his home, as a father, as a husband, as a sibling, as a friend, that he would not lack because he has sacrificially gone into this path. For those who are watching, I pray that you touch them in ways, and you'd also provide for them so that they may be a resource to Hope for Cancer Kids. Have that be through their talents, have that be through their resources, finances, and etc. I pray that you bless them as they give. Last but definitely not least, I thank you for those who have sacrificed and are living their life, all the doctors at Kenyatta, all the nurses. I love that somebody has sat here to paint a different narrative. We sometimes complain about the services in these public institutions, not knowing that they are extremely stretched and they are actually living their lives also in service of the public, and that they're just stressed to capacity. So I thank you so much for those who are out there sacrificially giving of their talents and of their time. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Sid,
Yeah.
look into that camera, speak to somebody. But before we do that, because after you're done, we're just going to end, the camera just ends. I just want to thank each and every single one of you for watching. The way you can tell me thank you for watching this CTA. First of all, if you've watched this far, encourage us by getting into the comments and saying, imagine I've watched mpaka hapa. Imagine I've watched till here, because we've been talking for hours.
Yeah.
But on top of that, one of the ways you can also thank us is by donating to this cause. We've tried to shine light on something that a lot of people are doing, and we want to do more CTAs like this. So feel free to also get in touch with us. The details are hello@cleaningtheairwaves.com. You can write to us there. Last but definitely not least, a massive shout out to ISO. I don't do this alone, and the reason why you have seen there will be no glitches on the camera, sound is okay, is because I have a team. There's a we as we do this, and my main man ISO is always with us as we shoot this. So thank you so much. Also through your giving, we've been able to shoot in this different location. Now, Sid, it's over to you. I'm going to leave you alone. Look in the camera and do your parting shot.
Before I look in the camera, I just want to say thank you for having me today. It's not often you get the opportunity to be on such a platform. And for me to tell my story, it's something that if I can use my story to make a difference in someone's life, then I believe that, I'll have done something that is satisfying but also has a lasting impact in someone's life. To you out there watching, thank you for watching. I'm sure you're wondering who this guy is that Richie is going to, interview today. So I'm the guy, you know me almost inside out. And I'd like to say this. Cancer is a disease, like any other disease. Children do get cancer. But with access to treatment and early diagnosis, you catch it early and you have access to treatment, it's beatable. I am a living testament that cancer is beatable. I've been cancer-free now for over 20 years, and I've dedicated my life to ensure that every child in Kenya has the same chance I had at beating cancer. At Hope for Cancer Kids, we have a saying that goes, where you live should not determine if you live. Your socioeconomic status or your county or the country you were born in, you should be able to get the same level of care and treatment, regardless of where you start or what financial position you find yourself in. And lastly, to those out there who are willing to give of your time, willing to give in kind, willing to give of your resources, anything small makes a very big difference. And at Hope for Cancer Kids, we are dedicated to ensuring that every child in Kenya gets access to timely and affordable cancer treatment. So thank you for watching. I appreciate, being on CTA. It's something that we've been talking about for some time, but it finally came to pass. And I'd just like to leave you with that. Help us help them. At the end of the day, we can't do what we do without your help. So thank you in advance.
Don't forget to donate. Kohari. In fact, go and donate. Go donate.